Welcome and welcome to everybody else who's here. Um, if you have been doing any of my earlier meditations, you would know that it's a very informal process. Um, so even this evening, I just want to give you a heads up. It's not anything that would be ritualistic. It's more coming together, especially considering the amount of work we all do. Many of you have joined me in that work, working with ancestors. I it's felt a strong need in me to open the space and invite all of you, include all of you, in honoring our ancestors. And so I'm just going to go with the flow. There's no specific ritual. I'm not equipped to lead you through any ritualistic process here. I'm in touch with a few ideas which I will share, and then probably we can all do a short process together, which I could guide you through. Um, I have always maintained that may not be for me personally, but in general, I've always maintained that we don't know if there is a God unless we have established a relationship with that intelligence, with that divine consciousness, and have experientially acknowledged and recognized the presence of a divine intelligence. We don't know, if a God exists. What is that God that everyone talks about, and who are we? What's our relationship with that idea, that identity? But we cannot deny that we all have ancestors. A truth that is evident is that we have ancestors, and we have parents, and our parents have had parents, and so on. Basically, there's no denying that. Globally, it is an acknowledged and well-established practice in different ways, depending on the culture, depending on where we come from. There is a global process. There is a process of acknowledging and honoring ancestors. As a matter of fact, in one of the books that I was reading recently, or history, I love reading history, and I was reading that. I was quite surprised because I didn't know until then that there was the concept or the idea, the practice of building a temple and having a god consecrated in the temple and worshipping that god in a temple, in a structure, and especially we are famous for the beautiful temples we have. Please mute yourself. Yeah. We have such beautiful temples all across the country, but the practice of building a temple for a god and worshipping God was introduced into our culture, especially the South, the Deccan Plateau. It was introduced as late as the 5th or the 6th century. Until then, that such a practice did not even exist. The practice that existed through times before this concept was introduced was praying to ancestors. The two ideas that were held as divine and held with a lot of respect, reverence, and prayed to as a source of power and strength was nature and ancestors. So it was very interesting for me when I came across this piece of information, and it kind of strengthened my conviction in the way that I hold this space of ancestral healing, ancestral worship. This being said, it's also available in our texts. It is known, it's a known fact. Known fact as in scripturally it is present, where they talk about our Puranas and Upanishads talk about three basic rin. Rin is like a debt or an obligation that all of us carry with us the moment that we are born. Three basic debts, obligations. We can call it rin. Basically, it's called rin. So there is devarinam, devarinam, a sense of obligation and acknowledgement that we owe to a divine consciousness. Then there is Guru Rinam. And the way that we fulfill the Devarinam is to bring that presence through our personal practice into this world. Okay? So we could loosely translate it to whatever personal practice we engage in through meditation and through other whatever has been our chosen practice, where we establish a connection with the divine and bring that consciousness, each one of us being a channel through which that consciousness is able to flow into this dimension that we live in. And the practical application of that kind of consciousness is whatever efforts we make in establishing dharma. Very loosely, and this is, I'm not going to go into too many details here. How do I understand the term dharma? In all that I do, in the decisions that I make, the choices that I make, in the way I am present in this world, in the way I show up in this world, am I keeping in mind through my presence, in the way I'm present, am I aware that whatever actions that I choose, is it in my interest? If you are in that context, is it in your interest? And does it serve the context in which you and I are connecting and engaging? So if my actions, action choices, if my decisions are serving the best interest at these three levels, mine, yours, and the context in which we are engaging, that's a very broad but good enough description of what it is, what dharma means for you and me in our world, in our life. Am I taking you into consideration? And am I taking the context? My ecosystem depends in what context we are engaging, what context we are considering. So this is my way of paying back Devarinam. Guru Rinam is everything that I have imbibed that has contributed to my growth and expansion. And the way I fulfill this Rinam is becoming a channel in the expansion of consciousness of others. So if I have learned something from you, what am I doing to take this forward and pass it on? Okay, So what efforts am I making? How am I contributing in sharing my education and being a channel to spread that? That is Guru Rinam. And the third Rinam is Pitru Rinam. I owe gratitude and I'm responsible, I'm obligated to my ancestors, to the entire lineage. And in earlier times, the way of fulfilling Pitru Rinam is to help in the propagation of your species. So we are obliged to have children, and that's the way you fulfill Pitru Rinam. Which is why traditionally, if someone is childless, it was, not looked upon favorably because that couple is unable to fulfill Pitru Rinam. That's the way it was perceived and considered. Our current context, it doesn't allow me to say, okay, we all owe it to our ancestors that we propagate, because our context is very different today. Mm. The way I connect, the way that seems practical and viable, I might say, to our current context, the least that we can do is to acknowledge their contribution for all that we have received in this life. And it's not a one-time thing, okay? It's not a one-time thing that they conceived you and they've delivered you, you exist and that's finished. Because in in this context, and those of you who've been in my ancestral healing workshops, you've heard me say this there as well. They are the source of prana. Ancestors are the source of prana. There are two sources of prana, as I speak about it in the ancestral healing workshops. One is the absolute source, and the other source of prana is our ancestors. These are the only two sources, channels that we have access to for as long as we exist, and we have the right to draw from these two sources as our resource to sustain our own life experience, our own life. So wherever prana is life force energy, the energy that I need to live, life force energy, the energy that I need to do everything that I end up doing through the course of my life. And this has no bearing at all on what that life is that each one of us is living today. The prana that we receive from our ancestors. So I'm going to narrow it down now to the ancestors in our connection, and the ancestors as a source of prana. The prana that we receive from our ancestors, the energy that we receive from our ancestors translates into whatever we consider as success in our life. It is the fuel. It is the fuel that allows us to live this life, that energizes this life. So it's not, like I said, it's not a one-time thing that they have given birth to you, and therefore uh, we are indebted to them. Or it's not that one-time thing that we owe them. It's continue every breath that I inhale. And I'm not talking about the biology of breathing or the physiology of breathing. I'm talking here at the level of energies. So, one way of looking at it is that at the physical level, where I'm conscious of the inhale and exhale, the process of inhale and exhale, I'm just saying it to give you some sense of what I mean. I don't intend that you should take it too literally, but if it serves you, serves your understanding, it's perfectly okay, even if you take it literally. That physically, as I inhale and exhale, almost as though parallelly, prana too is entering me and exiting, entering me and exiting. It's a cycle. So, what I'm able to experience and acknowledge is the physical process of breathing and the exchange of, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and all that we know about the act of breathing, respiration. But almost parallel to it is the entry, is the way the prana enters my body and it leaves my body in a cyclical manner, in a cycle. All right. Every returning breath, every returning breath is an assurance from the divine that my life is valid. So, wherever each one of us is in our lives today, whatever you find yourself doing, whoever you are, however you have lived, every returning breath is that divine consciousness affirming the validity of the process of your life. There is no measure or judgment on whether what you are attempting to do in the process of your life is good enough or worthy of any kind of approval. Whatever we are doing, however we are living, whatever you think you have not done, every returning breath is an affirmation that the process of your life is valid. That's the connection with the divine. Every breath that reaches you is a channel available to you to draw from your ancestors. Because that's the second source of prana. Okay, so this is how I see it, and I'm going to share this image or this mental map with you, the way I connect to it. What do I receive from the divine? Divine is the source of absolute power. Absolute power over your own life. What do I mean by that? The ability to create a life of your choice. The power to create a life of your choice. The divine is a source of absolute knowledge. If I have this power, how do I use this power to create a life of my choice? The guidance, the knowledge is available to you from the divine, the source of absolute knowledge. The divine is the source of absolute compassion. Why am I saying absolute for each word? Absolute meaning there is no exception. There is no exception. Nobody is deprived of this for any reason. So it's absolute. It's available to all. And it is the ultimate. Absolute also means the ultimate, eternal, and infinite. So, absolute power, absolute knowledge, and absolute compassion. Why is compassion such a critical factor? Absolute compassion from the point of view that I see you, I am with you through all the ups and downs that that you are living, through all the ups and downs that you are having to face with, all the mistakes that you make, so-called mistakes that you made, all the setbacks that you have experienced, all that you have deemed as a failure, all the hurt and pain that each one of you is going through, each one of us is going through in our humanness, it is held with compassion. I'm aware. I'm giving words to the divine, okay? I'm taking that liberty. It's almost like the divine is saying, I'm aware, I'm with you. I'm with you. I am with you. Live your life. I am with you. That's the compassion. That is the quality of prana that we receive from that source. What does the prana from our ancestors bring us? Ancestors are a source of lived experience, wisdom gained from living, having lived a human life. There is not a single, there is no challenge, there is no difficulty, there is no experience that you and I are going through qualitatively. I don't mean in literal terms, qualitatively. There is no experience you and I are going through that someone in our ancestors has not already been through. So there is someone out there who's done exact things that you are doing. There is someone out there who's saying, I know how to do this. I know how to get past this. I know how to deal with this. You need not know who that someone is, but know that it has already been lived in one form or manner. What do I need to do? Just realize that all I need to do is turn around and ask. All I need to do is turn around and ask, hey there, you guys. I'm using a very casual language, but that's who out there knows what to do in this situation. I need your help. Literally, literally, we just need to do that. Who out there knows how to resolve this challenge? Who out there knows how to deal with this heartbreak? Who out there knows how to overcome this financial setback? Because the ancestors carry with them, I told you, lived wisdom from lived experience. So all we need to do is know that we can ask and we will receive, irrespective of what our individual challenge may be, what our individual context may be. It's been a very, very important part of who I am and what I want to do in my life. It's been a very important part to bring this understanding and restore it actually, because the way the times have evolved, somehow we've lost this understanding and this awareness. And even those of us who follow traditional ritualistic practices do it just as a ritual. And what I want to say here, if we are able to, through our personal effort, please mute yourself, someone. Neil, where is it coming from? This, yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, just give me a minute. I seem to have lost touch with my thought. Uh, yeah, I'm saying that these two resources, divine consciousness, the ultimate idea of whatever you consider as divine, the ultimate idea is yours, with you, reaching you through every breath that you draw. That as a resource, and the same goes for all the ancestral wisdom and blessings. Both of these are available to every one of us, provided we live with that awareness that it exists. And through our effort, we have established a connection, a relationship with these two sources. Human beings, every being for that matter, every being. But right now, to just keep the context manageable, human beings, every human being is a physicalization, a physical manifestation of that divine consciousness. So we are programmed for success, whatever success means to each one of us. It is inherently present in us to be able to create whatever we wish to create. Whatever we wish to create, we are programmed for it. We just need to acknowledge and have the wisdom and the practice to draw the required resources to move in that direction of what we wish to experience in our human life. Yeah, just as a so recently I was reading these stories, the Devi stories, and it is very fascinating, just a little bit I want to bring in that context before we go into some kind of a process. And it is very interesting how the stories from our Puranas where you have all these asuras who get this unimaginable power from the gods themselves. Okay, every asura does tapas. I'm not going into too many details, but just very broadly. Every asura does tapas for hundreds of years, thousands of years, whatever, however the story goes. And everything that they use later on is a wish that has been granted by God, by one of the gods. Okay, but when that has that those gifts that they have asked for and received from those gods have not been used to establish dharma, then something needs to be done for them to annihilate this asura. That's why they called it asura, because they don't use those gifts to establish dharma. They perpetuate adharma. So that divine consciousness needs to take on a counter form to neutralize this. But the point I'm making here is uh, even the asuras, with whatever their intention, when the tapas is rigorous enough, when their focus of what they want to receive is sharp, consistent, very clear, their wishes are granted. The gods don't have the power to refuse them what they want. It is only when, after having received it, it is used to perpetuate adharma, then something has to happen to neutralize that. Okay, so the key here is the consistency and rigor in your practice and connecting to the divine and connecting to your ancestors to receive whatever it is that you think you need to receive in order to live the life that you want. The principle is the same. Then what you do with what you receive, is it Daivik or Asuric? That's a different matter. So revisiting the process of connection and inviting the blessings and love from our ancestors, because they say the doors of heaven are open and the ancestral blessings are available in full. That's what I intend to do with all of you today. And I'm really, really thankful from my heart to everybody who chose to join me, because um, it just feels very nice, feels very good. And the fact that so many of us are gathered to do this collectively, even if it is virtual, it just energizes, brings that much more energy, because we are going to connect in our minds to the same thought. Okay, so I'll just take you through a short process. Uh, if there's anything that you wish to drop, I'm not really opening for Q&A. I mean, with so many of us online, it's not going to be feasible. But if you want to drop anything at the end of the process and end of the guided process in the chat box, please do that, and I'll go back to the recording and try and respond if it requires a response. Okay. Is everyone aligned with the intention with me? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Shall we? Simple process, but hopefully this can be something that you will do every day going forward, because if you don't ask, you can't complain that you don't have enough. And these are two places you can ask with absolute confidence: the divine and the ancestors, divine consciousness and the ancestors. Okay, let's begin. So if you think it will help. I believe it will help if you are able, if you close your eyes before we get into this process. Make sure that you are sitting comfortably. It's important that your neck and spine are in a straight line. You may want to check your phones, make sure that it's not going to disturb you through this process. Let's begin by bringing our complete presence in the here and now. When I say complete presence, I mean that the mind and the body are in the same place. And the simplest way to ensure that your mind and body are in the same place is to focus on the breath. So I invite you to focus your mind to watch your body breathe. Watch your body breathe. You could do this by focusing either on your chest or your abdomen. If you're an experienced practitioner, you may want to focus the tip of your nostrils and observe every inhale and exhale. Just normal, regular breathing. When you do this, you will become aware of all the other places that your mind keeps going off to. Other preoccupations, some kind of mental chatter. Every time you become aware that your mind is not with your body and breath, disengage from wherever it has wandered and bring your mind back. Fix your attention on your body and watch your body breathe. It as often as you may need to. For the next few minutes, there is nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. As you observe your breath, bring to your mind that every breath is a symbol of the presence of the divine. As the breath flows through you, so does that divine consciousness. As the breath flows through you, it picks up who you are in this moment, how you're feeling, what you're thinking in this moment. And every returning breath carries this information about you. Back to the source. Your physical presence, your physical body, and your presence in this dimension, in this world, receives complete attention. You are the point of focus for your own higher consciousness. Every returning breath brings to you the energy to live the next moment. You are the point of focus and attention every moment. I invite you to connect to whatever you have identified as that divine consciousness, whatever form, maybe a symbol or just a source of light, whatever you consider as the source, as that divine consciousness, your Ishtadevata, connect to that source. I invite you to connect to the idea that every breath emanates from that source and flows through you. Stay fully present to what this awareness feels like in the body. It's the same breath, it's the same you, but when you inhale with this awareness, be present with what this awareness does to your body. Be present to what the breath brings to you now when you're aware. Acknowledge the ease and the effortlessness to experience this connection with the source of absolute power, absolute knowledge, and absolute compassion. Just conscious breathing. With this awareness, continuing to remain with us, with each one of you, I'm going to take you through a simple creative visualization process now. I invite you to visualize standing in front of you while your eyes remain closed. Visualize, imagine your parents standing in front of you. It doesn't matter if they are here in their physical bodies, if they have moved on. Visualize them, imagine them standing in front of you. Look into their eyes as best as you can. See them gazing at you. Now, behind your parents, imagine your grandparents. They are standing behind your parents, grandparents on both sides. They too are facing you. They may be with you now or not. You may or may not have known them. It does not matter. Visualize them there. They too are looking at you. Imagine the parents of your grandparents now. Add another row of ancestors behind every grandparent. Imagine their parents. It does not matter if you don't know their name. It does not matter if you don't know how they looked. It does not matter if you've never met them or known them. Imagine your great grandparents standing behind your grandparents. They're all looking at you. And now add one more row of ancestors with every great grandparent. See their parents behind them. And it doesn't matter anymore if you don't know how many should be there. In your mind's eye, gradually keep adding row after row of ancestors. You are standing at the tip, facing your ancestors. Visualize or imagine your ancestors getting added on as far as you can imagine, all the way to the horizon, maybe. You no longer know their faces, know their names, know who they were, but you know they existed. As you gaze upon this ocean of human beings, every one of whom have contributed over the generations so that you have come to be. Bring to your mind that awareness. Every one of them have come together, lived their life, procreated, and have been able to continue that until it has come to your parents and now you. If you feel called to, I invite you to join your hands in respect to all those human beings who have lived, gone through all that they have each gone through. I'm going to lead you through a prayer now. Please stay with me, stay with these words. I acknowledge you as my ancestors. I acknowledge with deepest gratitude that I'm here today because of each and every one of you. I respect and honor the lives that you have lived. I acknowledge your life belongs to you, and with respect, I leave it with you. Your successes, your failures, your achievements, your disappointments, they belong with you, and I leave it with you. I stand before you as your child. I seek from you your love and blessings so that I may live my life, I may navigate through my life successfully. Please support me, guide me, and keep me safe. As we stand here in front of the ancestors, I would like each one of us to bring to our mind whatever it is that we see as a gift we have received from life itself. Today we see it as a gift from our ancestors, their love and blessings. Take a moment to bring to your mind what you wish to thank them for today. I also invite you to bring to your mind what is that one area of your life where you need their blessings today. You need them as your resource. You need their support, their guidance, and their protection. What would be that area? What would be that context in your life today? Keeping that in mind, I'm going to repeat these lines again. I stand before you as your child. Please give me only your love and blessings so that I may live my life successfully. Keep in mind the context that you want their blessings. And as you stand in your mind's eye, as you stand in front of them, I would like you to imagine, visualize, I invite you to visualize tiny specks of light appearing at the outermost edge of the ancestors. Visualize or imagine that speck of light all along the edge, starting to move towards you now. Tiny streams of love and blessings emanating from each of the ancestors, starting to move towards you. Stay with that image. Drop all blame, judgments, opinions, resentment, grudges, everything that you might be holding. Drop all of them and be open to receive this energy of love and blessings. Visualize or imagine these streams of light growing bigger and brighter as they approach you. In your mind, open your heart and receive this huge river of energy flowing right into your heart. Instantly spreading into every nook and corner of your body. See the whole of your body lighting up as this energy continues to reach you. Bring to your mind once again the area of life where you need this energy today. Imagine that context filling up with this light. Trust every one of your ancestors. Wish you to be successful. Visualize, experience this energy spreading all through you, through every cell, through every organ, tissue, bone, muscle. As you inhale, with every inhale, there's more of this energy reaching you. Take a moment to be in touch, to get in touch explicitly. How or what is the kind of guidance and support you need today. When you feel complete in your mind's eye, I would like you to turn around. Imagine yourself turning around, continuing to receive this energy through your back, and visualize standing in front of you the next generation of your family, your own children, your nieces, your nephews. You may want to include your siblings, and all the future generations, your grandchildren, their children. You are now the portal through which this ocean of love and blessings can reach them. Look into the eyes of people who stand in front of you. Bring to your mind all those generations that are yet to come. I'm going to say a few words of blessings. Address all those who stand before you as the energy continues to reach you through your back. My life, my dreams, my aspirations, my disappointments, my successes, my failures belong with me. And I keep them with me. I give you only the abundance of love that I received from my ancestors and my own. I give you only the love and blessings. May you live your life to the fullest, successfully, in health, prosperity, joy, and fulfillment. This love is with you. The blessings are with you every step of the way. Visualize or imagine the energy flowing through your heart forward and flowing into all those people in front of you. Share only your love and blessings. Keeping with you what belongs to you. Your life experiences, your successes, your failures, your disappointments, Your dreams, your aspirations, they belong with you. Keep them with you. Send only your love and blessings. I invite you to connect to this image in your mind's eye, you being the central point, the portal through which ancestral love and blessings flows from the earlier generations to the future generations. Pure love and light. At this point, I would like to, I would like you to bring to your awareness your connection with the divine. Just for now, visualize or imagine that energy flowing into you through the crown of your head from the source, from your Ishtadevata. See yourself as the point of convergence of both these streams of prana, receiving absolute power, knowledge, and compassion from the divine source, receiving support, guidance, and earthly wisdom from your ancestors. And you are that point of convergence. I invite you to connect to an attitude of deep gratitude for the gift of prana that you receive from these two sources. Take your time. Hold this image of your truth in your mind. This is your truth. This is an absolute truth. I wish and I pray for every one of us. May each one live life to the fullest successfully. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for bringing your energies to the space and to this process.